Well, good morning. It is already August the 3rd, no less. And today we're talking about the challenge of the month last month, the winner, and the new challenge of the week and the winner of that one. So let's get into long poems and dead people. Let's keep it bright. Here we go. All right, let's do this. So, been a while since the last video, but I've been dealing with auto issues and the heat, and I am happy to say I have a new car. Well, not new to the world, but new to me. And, for 10 years, that Honda I bought, we rode the hills, the mountains, the cities, and I just lost it in the sadness of the swamps. So it's been a while, like a month or so, I've been in the situation. So it's been kind of like my own air-conditioned nightmare, as a throwback to Miller, but only not moving, stationary. And I kind of imagine like a documentary, right? Walking around my house, trying to stay sane. I chose to not stay sane, but it was my choice. But I just imagine like a narrator, like here we have the North American rider, and note the protruding hairy stomach. Oh, and now he's back down for another depression power nap, or maybe some shitty, like black turtleneck wearing pretentious narration, like NPR style, after this message from Greenpeace, we'll come back with half a century of sorrow. Stick around, or something, something like that. It was a really fucking awful experience because I made it that way. So now I'm back on the road, and it's nice to have a car that is quiet. So I'm back on it, back on the snake. So this is going to be a really interesting challenge this week. This is, 2 weeks. I made it 2 weeks because I'm going to be personally judging this one, giving the panel a break. And I wanted to do something haiku-based because we haven't done haikus in a long time. And so I thought, let's do a haiku about discovering a corpse. Why not? Make it 2 weeks and just pay $50 because I want to read a lot of these. So this is going to be like my entertainment for the next 2 weeks. So in lieu of the challenge of the week, let's go to the last one. This was write a short poem about waking up from drunken regret. On this one, winner is decided by likes. Make it brutal. $25 in the line, go. So this was decided by likes, like I just said, and Rose Tempest came in with 16 of them, and as the past repeats, drink, forget, blackout, find the kids crying, beaten, anguish, drink, forget. So she took home the big fat $25. So congrats to Rose Tempest. Let's see. We'll link her on the profile. And our challenge of the month last month. Well, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself, but what else is new? No, wait, I am not. See, I'm not. Okay, this is the new one. This is 2 words for this one. Long poem. Winner will be decided by blah, blah, blah. Winner will be decided by likes and the panel. We know we're complicated. Anyway, long poem of yours about anything at all. 100 big ones for the winner. Go. I'm excited about this, by the way, because I like the poetry of our writers. So this is going to be good. Let's get into last month's challenge, and this was begin a story or poem about your first memory, but write it in the style of a Tarantino or a Charlie Kaufman screenplay. Where it goes from there, use any style you want. Open the belly, bleed on the page. Winner gets 100 big ones. Go. This is another one that I'm glad I didn't have a dog in this fight because I couldn't have picked one. And I'm going to demonstrate that here in one moment. But this was by far 39 top-notch, fucking top-tier entries, right, in this challenge. And I just absolutely loved these entries. So this one, I want to go through a couple of these really fast before we go to the winner. So this one is The Makeshift Door by AirJoe1122. And I loved every word of this one. This really meant a lot to me to read this. So I'm going to link this old challenge, the one that this in the YouTube description. So this is really good. So AirJoe1122, yeah, thank you. I liked reading this. I really thought this was up there for, you know. And then there's this one by, I don't want to butcher your name, but I'm going to, Mar Ali, Unveiling Reflections, The Odyssey of Me. This is good. Whoever you are, you really brought this home and nailed it. This is exactly what I thought this challenge would look like. This is really cool. So check out this one by Mar Ali. And then this is something, probably saw it coming because I'm a huge fan of Mavia. Now, how do I put this? Let me clear out my cue here. This is such an interesting write from this writer that I was almost shocked this didn't win. And not to take anything away from the first place, because as you'll see, it's awesome. It's fucking amazing to me, because I share a lot of when I read the winner, I was like, okay, this reminds me of home. But this one is so well done and so particular in the choices that this writer makes with this piece. And I just loved it. So Mavia, thank you for this. Okay, so those are the ones I liked a whole lot. Now let's jump into the winning piece, which is Snappin' Turtles by Plexiglass Fruit. Now, I love this profile, and I was kind of down this rabbit hole today, and really, really interesting mind on this writer. So let's go ahead and check out Snappin' Turtles by Plexiglass Fruit. Here we go. A rustic kitchen starts to fill with sound in a farmhouse in Chillicothe, Ohio. The air is thick with the sweet scent of homemade blackberry cobbler. It almost drowns out the bitter stench of the paper factory in town. My attention pulled from watching the sun reflecting on the spoons hanging in the kitchen window by a loud slap of a screen door slamming. I got up to walk to the back porch out toward the woods. The day was early inside the house, but what was on the other side of that porch seemed to be the heat of a midday battle. A flurry of voices and ramble of my cousins were seemingly having full-on fits to the sound of Conway Twitty pouring out of the open doors of a pristine Chevy Caprice Classic. The dust was stirred up so much it seemed like a cartoonish visual. Watching humans fight air made me feel a mix of fear and fascination, a witness to the darkest depths of my family's insane wrath. I could feel, not just see, the seething rage that fuels their actions and play, a violence so deeply rooted it becomes a part of their very essence. One of my cousins screamed, "Uncle Bobby, get your gun! Uncle Bobby, they coming for the house!" Any other child may have been frightened, but somehow this level of intensity was programmed in me before I could tie shoes. Like the Marine he once was, my dad, a rugged, hardened man in his 40s, marched down the hallway as if he was in Korea again. It was like magic, watching him walk into his boots while simultaneously grabbing one of the shotguns that were always part of the room. Any room. As if he was folding a shirt, the thing quickly made the unmistakable sound of racking. "Stay," he growled, as he kicked the screen door with the tip of his boot on the way out, making it slap hard against the porch. I recall looking down at the long sleep shirt I had on and wondering if I would need to join the battle that-a-way. I watched my dad immediately swat his free hand in fury, holding the gun in the other as the chaos churned around him, He was still watching. An incessant buzzing filled the air and amplifying the tension now to the tune of Willie Nelson singing about Poncho and Lefty. Roy Lee done kicked up some daubers toward Nick. We was all out here smoking when he done it. And Janet was hollering toward my dad's direction. He looked so stoic in the swirling production of violence and fear when my cousin Sonia screeched out, I've been stung real bad, Uncle Bobby, as she fell to the ground. To this, he had a reaction. He started laughing. He pulled that one arm up, pointed that gun about 4 feet above that girl's head, and she in turn pulled herself in the fetal position, and he shot the gun. The smell was fantastic, and him laughing as Willie Nelson wrapped up his soft ballad filled me with remarkable pride for some reason. Nick yelled at him from about 30 feet away. In the air, Unc! In the air! To which immediately my Aunt Janet responded, You idiot! He knows how to use a gun, boy! I swear she was trying to be funny, even though it didn't look like it. Her running over past the car to hide. Fuck you, Mama! Nick yelled and pulled out his own handgun. I do not know what it was, but he shot off 4 rounds into the sky while yelling like a banshee, somehow more focused on being in control of attention instead of himself over the hornets. At that, my eyes went right back to my dad, who only slightly turned with a crooked smile and 3 or 4 of them hornets attached to his head. He pointed that shotgun again, and Janet from behind the Caprice yells, Don't do it, Bobby. He ain't right for that. Just as the Oak Ridge boys, American Made, pours from the car. What started out as a brawl with pestilence became a full-on fistfight and gunfire amidst the still swarming winged savages. I can still feel it in my throat as I watched my old man beeline towards his cousin with those hornets still on his head, his eyes darken, a sinister resolve etching itself onto his war-weathered face. The chaos of the scene morphed into a haunting symphony of familial violence, where blood runs thicker than reason. The crack of knuckles and the sickening thud of fists merging with jaws and relentless buzzing of a hornet, as if orchestrating an eerie symphony of brutality played on as my mother, about 19 at the time, if I was 4, come around the porch with the hose and the handle of an old flat-headed shovel that we sometimes would club snapping turtles with. Roy Lee, you better finish what you started. My dad bolted his voice out as if his words were bullets. The song hits the slow bit, and Roy Lee shoots his mouth back. Oh, don't worry, I plan on it. And the 2 men collide. The radio goes quiet for a second between songs, and it is like everything is slow motion, and so many things are happening at the same time. I remember thinking, I wish my ma had not come out, and also I wish she would just turn on the hose. What was once dust started turning into mud as 4 grown men and a teenager were Rubik's cubing one another's expressions. A loud ad for a local tire dealer filled the air, and it was sort of like everyone felt the music stop as a blast of water came upon them. Everyone started slowing down a bit, and the women of the mess started their blame yelling. I heard the man on the radio say Chillicothe real clear as my dad was telling his cousin to get up and pick up his hots. I loved hearing that word, Chillicothe, like it meant something that day. Like this was what Chillicothe was. Every time we come down to this place, there was everyday extremes in weather and in people. As my mom fixed the hose on the spot where the dauber come up, my aunt was fussing with my dad to get a stinger out of his head, and as the music started back up, Sonia, now on her feet and muddy like the rest of them, looking at the ground said, You did get one, Uncle Bobby. Look at that's just the front end of one. And a few of the men started to look over and see, like a bunch of kids. My mom never put that shovel handle down, even as everyone collected themselves and started filing in the house to eat. Mom and I looked at each other a second, and she just sort of tipped her head a bit for me to walk back in the house. But I stood there a bit and looked at her. She sort of had a flat affect standing there in cutoffs and an old Pepsi-free t-shirt. But something told me she was really thinking hard about snapping turtles. Fucking bravo. Bravo. Plexiglass fruit. This is a great photo too. I love this photo. Well done, and well earned. And that's going to wrap today. So thank you guys for being here, and congratulations again to Rose Tempest and to Plexiglass Fruit. It was a pleasure reading your story. And to everybody on thepros.com, thank you for being there. And if you aren't there, go there. Get a profile. Read, write, inspire, be inspired. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take good care.